Hey, those of us who are going around the second time, sometimes we've got enough wisdom behind those experiences that we can be really amazing employees.
Very true. Very true.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dr. Melodie's Learning Bytes. Today, we're going to talk to Sandy, a former respiratory therapist who was injured on the job. As a result of her injury, she had to overcome that and technology and many other things in her pursuit of a new career that she did not plan on. In the process, she discovered that she loved learning and she had a passion for technology.
Sandy, I'm so glad that you came to visit with me today and tell your story about how you decided to go back to school and learn some more to help you transition in your career. You have a college degree and were working before you decided to come back. Could you tell us a little bit about what you were doing?
I was a registered respiratory therapist, but I'm also a certified asthma educator. I was a respiratory therapist for quite a few years, actively working. And then one day it all changed. Everything changed. I was involved in a critical care transport. We were life-flighting a gentleman that weighed over 500 pounds. But when we were transporting him, we were moving him from one gurney to the other. And the transport gurney, once we got him moved over, the transport gurney with him on top of it collapsed on top of me. And I blew out my lumbar spine 3 different levels. I blew out the bottom 3 levels in my neck and tore up my right shoulder. I tore my right bicep tendon. When they finally operated, that I had the 2 back surgeries, 1 neck surgery, and my right shoulder. And it was determined after that that I could no longer return to the profession and actually work actively at the patient's bedside. So it took me out of my profession.
So you mentioned you were certified to be an asthma educator. That you chose to switch careers and look at something in the technology industry instead.
I did. It was actually a good decision because even if I had been able to go back into the medical profession, I could not have kept up physically because of my injuries. When I had the option of looking at different things that I wanted to do, of course, a remote position, right then and there, it was beginning of the COVID lockdown, and a remote position seemed to be one of the best things that I could actually do, work from home. So I looked at different options, and I'm kind of a nerd person anyway. And so I just, computers are kind of, enjoy working on them. I kind of enjoy how they working on how do they go together, how are these programs put together, that kind of a thing. And so I think it was kind of a natural thing that I do. And I researched different aspects of the quote unquote IT field, and I decided that I wanted to go into cybersecurity. I live south of Elko, Nevada. I'm in a very rural area. I don't have many neighbors. One of my big challenges is I can only have satellite internet because there is no fiber, cable, TV, or anything like that. So everything has to be done satellite. So that was also one of my issues. And because I am remote and do all this, because there is no learning center close to me. So that's how I ended up doing it all remote and had a really, really good program.
Well, great. Well, you took a class with me. Was that your first online class?
Your class was actually my second. My first class was CompTIA A+, and I was mortified. I thought, oh, there's
them.
that was a hard class. There is no way that I can do this. And then when I got into your class, you were so positive and helpful and patient and willing to help anybody who had any question. That's what made the difference for me. And that's where I said, I can do this.
So am I hearing you say that you had some reservations after your CompTIA class? Were you considering stepping back?
I really was. It was, in my opinion, it was, I was not prepared for how advanced it needed to be. I had no computer schooling before, and I was not prepared for the technicalities of what I would be getting into. I knew that it was going to be hard at my age. I just wasn't ready for the fast pace, which the class was 2 weeks. The first week was CompTIA 1. The second week was CompTIA 2. I was not prepared for the fast pace. And I thought, again, there's no way I can do this. But after the first several days of your class actually was when I decided that I can do this. I'm going to do this, because not every class is going to be like that.
Oh, good.
And now I feel better about it, obviously, having gone through all these classes and having a much broader understanding of what I'm getting into. And now actually doing the networking to try and get into some sort of a position within this field. I know that I can do this. I just need to get my foot in the door somewhere.
Now, did you find that the vocabulary was almost like an entirely new language for you?
It was. I had a fairly good understanding of it, but my issue was a lot of the acronyms are also acronyms in the medical field.
But they mean totally different things.
They mean completely different things, yes. Completely different fields. So I had to turn that around in my brain. It's like a whole different language that I did not understand.
So this going back to school and doing it online, it met your needs because of being so rural in the situation you were in.
Yeah.
However, were you concerned about it lacking some of what a face-to-face class would lack?
Absolutely. When I went to college, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the camaraderie. When you have a group of people together that are actually, you're going into a physical classroom, there's a certain amount of competition as well. And sure. I really enjoyed that competition and the laughter and the giggles, and being online, you really miss out on that.
True.
But it really has its perks, because I'm here in a very rural location, and I was able to do school where my main campus would have been 4 hours away, at least 4 hours away from me. But I do like being able to do online, because I can, maybe there's a little more leeway to do some of the things I needed to do around the house. You know, we break for lunch and I'm in there doing laundry or out in the garden or feeding the sheep or whatever, you know. So yeah. I like that aspect, and the fact that I am home. I really enjoy that.
Were there other challenges that have been a challenge for you to juggle along with going to school?
Absolutely. Just life on the ranch, dealing with livestock. My in-laws, my mother-in-law is 88, was just newly diagnosed with lung cancer. She's got some Alzheimer's and confusion issues. And so as soon as we had a break for a class, I was on the phone dealing or making phone calls for them, calling doctors and pharmacies, and it's you know, this never-ending list of things that you have to do for vulnerable adults.
Yes.
You know?
Well, and that is one reason you may have enjoyed the face-to-face classes, but when you're juggling external assignments or external responsibilities like that, just like you said, during break, you were able to make some phone calls, or
Absolutely.
yeah, you
Yeah.
weren't having to put commute time in there in addition to going to class.
Yeah, what I actually did do, Melody, was I actually took classes on the road. My husband would drive.
Okay.
And so I actually did quite a few classes on the road while we were
Okay.
driving, which kind of is, in some spots it's pretty rough. You keep dropping in and out, but the signal comes back quickly, and it worked out well.
And you didn't even mention your health, which I'm sure your health still factors in, even though it's
Absolutely.
been time since the accident.
Absolutely does. I fidget. I play with things on my desk because I can't sit still. I hurt. I have a desk that moves up and down, and I'm
Okay.
constantly moving. I'm on the go. Even though I'm sitting here, I'm constantly on the go. And most of the times I don't have a camera where you can see what I'm doing for that very reason, because I am all over the place.
That is something, when I started teaching, I thought it would be, I didn't know that I'd like online, but once you kind of come to terms with the fact that we are adults and we know what we need, and if I can respect that, then it helps you and I work together. As some people sit here and listen to your story, they might say, yeah, I'd have given up. I'd have been done. Okay. Especially, and you mentioned that you even considered stepping away, that the computer field might not be for you. What is it that, what kept you going?
Well, the first thing I would say is taking your class, because you were such a positive influence, and you were patient and understanding number one, what online students are going through, but understanding of things going on in life. I have a hard time sometimes concentrating because I hurt. And so that's really been a big struggle. And so I was really having a hard time. And you were so patient and tolerant of not only me, but so many other people in trying to get used to the online platform. And it really made a big difference. And it's because of your class, I actually told myself, I can do this. I will get through this. I know I can do this. And it's I have you to thank for that.
Well, thank you.
And your class and the students were very supportive of each other as well. And that was a big thing. It sparked something in me. And I don't want to quit my classes anymore. I don't want to quit learning.